Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. I'm Dr. Yahya and this is Dr. Mohsen.
Hey.
We are going to talk about fat burning hormones. We start with the first one, which is adrenaline. First of all, to use it in your favor, you need to know what is it, where is it coming from, and how to stimulate it and stimulate the fat burning naturally without using any chemicals, medications, or supplements. To Mohsen,
Yes.
welcome back.
Thank you, man. It's good to be back finally.
Okay, so Mr. Mohsen, what is adrenaline?
All right. So adrenaline is basically a hormone. It's produced by your adrenal gland. It's a small gland that sits on top of your kidneys, and essentially plays a crucial role in what quite a lot of people would know as the fight and flight mechanism in your body, which is basically a natural reaction to any form of stress or danger that your body might encounter on a day-to-day basis.
Okay, that's interesting. So adrenaline works in your favor or does it work against you?
So basically, it's working for you most of the time, and that's what we're going to be talking about. So it works essentially on quite a wide variety of your systems. All right, it has an impact on your heart rate, your blood pressure, your blood sugar levels, basically increasing all of them. And again, that's preparing your body for that fight or flight response. And essentially, how it does that is it acts directly on receptors in the heart, and essentially increasing your heart rate, allowing more blood to be pumped through to your muscles. It again causes a bit of vasoconstriction, increasing your blood pressure in certain areas such as your skin and digestive organs, which again helps reroute blood flow to where it's needed, which is basically your muscles, your brain, your lungs and your heart, so that your body can prepare better for that fight or flight reaction. Then next, like I said, increases blood sugar levels. Increasing blood sugar levels by triggering breakdown of glycogen, which is the stored form of glucose in your body, and that it does that by signaling your liver and your muscles. And your liver and muscles then kind of increase the breakdown of glycogen, which increases glucose rapidly in your bloodstream, which will help essentially prepare your body for that fight or flight reaction. I'm saying fight and flight quite a lot, aren't I? But that's basically how it works. The next thing we'll do again, this is in conjunction with the increase in blood glucose levels. It helps break down fat. All right, and again, that is basically stimulating the breakdown of fat cells to release fatty acids, again used for energy production, and that energy production will again help your body in that fight or flight response. All right, a couple of other things it does as well. We'll just go through those in a bit just briefly, because they're not particularly linked into what we're talking about today. Again, causes a bit of dilation in your airways, so increases your airways. So again, you can breathe better. Yeah, just like that. Again, increasing oxygen provision to your body for fight or flight. Increases the size of pupils. So pupils go a bit bigger. So again, when you're scared, you might have noticed that pupils dilate. Next thing, again, with all of this going on, when you, so essentially can lead to a state of increased mental alertness, a bit of hyper arousal at times when you're more aware, more alert of pretty much everything going on around you. And essentially what that will do is help increase muscular performance, because that's what you're aiming for, isn't it? When you're under stress, your fight or flight mode has been activated. You're either getting ready to fight something or you're getting ready to run away from something. Essentially, you need your muscles working as best as possible so that you can perform and, well, either run away or fight. Hopefully, you don't have to do that, but yeah, just in case. And one kind of side note would be that it will help kind of inhibit other body processes that would normally use energy, so things like digestion and again immunity. It tends to kind of slow those down, again rerouting everything to your muscles to perform.
So it acts more like a switch to to increase your performance,
Yeah.
start using your fat and increase your activity and alertness.
Yeah, you could say that. That's basically what it does, and it's very quick. It happens very rapidly because it's a very rapid response when obviously you're encountering something that causes you to feel stressed. So it happens very rapidly, and your adrenal glands start pumping the adrenaline into your bloodstream quite effectively, and then that just causes that reaction.
Okay, and so how does it help to lose the fat? So I understand that it makes the increase your blood sugar. Can it be used long term? Can it be? Can we use it all the time, or is it dangerous to use all the time?
Okay. So that would be one thing with adrenaline. It's not really a hormone that you can use all the time. All right. It's basically better to be used, or essentially your body uses it in short bursts, short amounts at a time when preparing for a flight or fright response, or to any stressful factors that your body encounters. And stressful factors can include pretty much tons of different things, and even something like exercise. All right, so high intensity interval training, so HIIT, or essentially any extreme levels of exercise will trigger a stress response in your body. That stress response will lead to some production of adrenaline. So it's short-lived. It's not going to be a very prolonged effect from the adrenaline. It's only going to be for that short amount of time where your body needs that extra energy to kind of help it through that stressful period.
So you mean that we can use this as impulses to stimulate the fat loss or the weight loss
Yeah.
during other activities or other exercises? So how can we do that?
So, like I said, basically, like I already talked about, there are factors that stimulate adrenaline. Stress, danger, that's fine. We all talked about exercise does that, and exercise mainly that would be intense physical exertion. So high intensity training would cause increased production of adrenaline. Cold exposure is another thing, which again we'll talk about at some point down the line. But yeah, cold exposure will again increase. So that's again your body going into a bit of a stress response. All right, when you're exposed to intense amount of cold, and that will cause an increase in adrenaline production, which helps then further break down fat stored in your body. Another thing, caffeine as well. Sometimes again. It's not very potent, but caffeine consumption can help slightly stimulate your adrenal glands to produce a bit of adrenaline as well. So that can be quite helpful when obviously you're consuming caffeine as a pre-workout. Again, you want to consume it in moderation. Very high quantities of caffeine can have other side effects, but that's another thing you could use as well.
And that reminds me of energy drinks, high dose of caffeine.
Yeah.
Okay, and so would you recommend doing something like sprints during the exercise, short bursts of sprints, or things like that?
Yeah. So generally, with that, sprints, high intensity interval training, any kind of interval training that you want to do, sprints is probably the most easiest way. You're good, but you can do it. You can kind of stimulate that same impact even on, say, for example, the treadmill, or for example, even on the bike. So you go very high intensity, full speed, pedaling for say 30 seconds, and then you slow down, and then you just take it at a slow pace, catch your breath again for a minute, and then go back up to 30 seconds of full out intensity exercise. The kind of short bursts, but that will help stimulate adrenaline production.
So you mean that steady treadmill exercise will be less effective than doing occasional sprints in between the steady state?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any effect for getting exposed to adrenaline for a long time?
So that is when obviously the side effects, or the drawback of adrenaline arises, because like I said earlier, it's only adequate to use it in short bursts and short amounts. Prolonged exposure to high levels of adrenaline will essentially cause your body to go into a prolonged stress response, and that can have a detrimental impact on your heart rate, your blood pressure, because continuously being elevated can essentially, again, stress related, can cause a high blood pressure, right? Which can increase your risk of cardiovascular problems down the line. So that's basically having problems with your heart and your lungs, and well, yeah, your brain as well. Then over time, it can cause disruption with your sleep. Again, excessive amounts of adrenaline, you won't be able to sleep properly. You can develop a bit of anxiety. You can over time start getting very tired and drained. So continuous exposure to adrenaline is not really the best thing. So again, for this purpose, what we're talking about, it's best to be used in short amounts and short bursts, and that would normally be achieved with things like high intensity interval training.
Pretty much like stress. Stress does the same. So that's how the stress is working as well. That's perfect. Final thoughts? Anything that you would recommend?
So for adrenaline, basically, it's a short dose hormone that you can use for essentially increasing your fat burning ability. But again, like I said, it's used in short bursts. It's not something you can use chronically or in long term. Not really something that we would recommend, though you try and use as an exogenous product. So don't go trying to buy any form of adrenaline or epinephrine, because again, that will be more detrimental to health than anything else. So short bursts, high intensity interval training to increase your adrenaline production during your workout can help slightly boost the amount of fat that you're burning. But it's not something, or it's not a hormone that we would recommend using for the long run.
Okay, so before exercising, first of all, do the exercises midday because adrenaline will affect your sleep. Use some caffeine before going to exercise. Do short bursts of strenuous exercise like sprints, and voila, you have some extra fat burning.
Yeah, a little bit of that extra stimulus with a little bit of adrenaline thrown into the mix to help burn a little bit of extra fat. Obviously, this all goes along with your diet and the rest of your training program as well. It's not just this one thing, but yeah, it can definitely give you a little bit of boost.
Like, subscribe, and share. Click on notification. Watch the rest of this series. You will hear things that you have never heard before. Keep tuned.
Hopefully. All right. See you later.
See you later.